And you can see this was more of a smudging style, almost cartoonish. But I'm looking at the background, and I painted a tree setting, so I want to kind of duplicate that as best as I can. I could copy it and paste it and just cheese it, but I don't want to do that. So I'm going to make a palette just for this. I'm just going to grab some of these greens and pop them in here. Let's see. Is that one even different? A little bit. It doesn't look like much, but yeah, a little bit. I'll grab that one. And you see, this really wasn't that great of a job, but I went ahead and tried it. Maybe I can improve in this next one. So I think that's probably enough. I'm texting my wife, who just texted me. All right, so switch this back down to gallery. I think that palette will stay with me. So we'll go back over here, and we'll open up another layer. And then I'm going to switch to the painting, and I'm going to get stupid, and hopefully it works. Okay, let's see. The brush is way too big for this. I could switch out and just paint another landscape elsewhere, but I don't really know how to paint. I just kind of, I've seen Bob Ross, I think that's his name, mess around with the brush on TV. And when I was really, I don't know, 19, 20, I played around with acrylics a little bit, but nothing advanced, nothing that good. And ultimately, I want to learn line art trees, but since I did this in a previous page, I think it would look weird. Now, I did do some different stuff in the pages before that, like, let's see, those are two. Okay, get this line, and I would go like this. I did it in the silhouettes, which I thought was kind of cool. Switching the brush up a little. Yeah, it's not coming out to the same effect because I'm not using a direct black for this. Maybe I should at some point. I'll probably put some black in there ultimately, but yeah, I'm not really happy with that green, so I'm going to go down here. I'll lighten it up quite a bit because it's daytime, right? Yeah, that's a little better. Splash some of that in there, okay. And come over here and go back here. Working on two devices, okay. So come down here. Kind of splash a little green in. So I will smudge this background a bit by the time I'm done. And my logic in that is just to try to make it look more like a painting. And maybe I'll think differently as I improve. But it's a unique challenge, mostly because I'm trying to learn how to color, and I don't know, I know painting's part of that. One of the things I've been trying to do, or have started to try to do, is I'm trying to paint and draw things around the house. A stapler, can opener, a pan, whatever it might be. Just to kind of get the feel of the different textures and the way light works on stuff. And it should be more obvious to me, I suppose, if I'm really trying to elevate my art. But, you know, it's an exercise. And who knows, maybe I'll put those in a digital sketchbook online sometime. Speaking of online, if you're one of those types who like to support art, I do have a Patreon available. I also have a Coffee account, which you can find links to those at heroeshack.com. Also at Hero Shack, you'll find all the pages that I've done so far since January on there. And you know, it is what it is. If you look at the early pages, and I love to talk about it, but it's kind of weird. They weren't really nearly as well done as these are going to be. You'll see the change as the time goes on, and it's something I'm happy with. I like change when it comes to my artwork, at least. So right now I'm smudging, and I'm using a noise filter on the smudge, I guess you could say, or it's a brush, really, I guess is the terminology. And you'll be able to see it kind of as this like speckle look. And I know you're probably going, oh, he's going out of the lines. Yeah, but I'm going to erase it. I think that's when I should be using masks, but I still haven't really perfected it, so I have not brought masks to the pages yet. For some reason, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And my plan is to corner someone who does use them at some point in my days, because I know many artists do use them. And maybe if I can sit there and talk to them while they do it, and I can understand the logic behind it. It just seems like a lot of trouble to block out stuff. Yeah, see, I don't like any of that. But that's okay, because then I'm going to come through with the eraser. Yep. And I'll tighten it up. Oops. That wasn't what I was looking for. You guys can hear the volume, obviously. There we go. I'll mute that. See, then I'm going to come back in and try to tighten it up and clean it up a bit. Make them look more like pine trees. This is supposed to be happening in the White Mountains. I didn't give a specific location, but it's in New Hampshire. And the reason I put it there is kind of a bit of a tribute, because I love the White Mountains. I'm from Massachusetts, and shoot, I've been up there with so many people, you know, growing up. My mom, my father, which they were separated, so that was weird in itself in a way, but you know, my wife, my kids, miscellaneous family. So it has a place in my heart. They recently, or maybe not so recently, lost the old man in the mountain. If you go up there, they have like a monument sculpture thing that you can stand in front of, and if you stand in the right angle, you can see where the old man was on the mountain. And as it went, it was a natural formation of the rocks that looked like an old man when you viewed it from the right angle. And they knew about it, and they kind of, I guess they formed the road to take advantage of it, and they had a little stop, and it was a big deal. They even had, you know, this little old man in the mountain figurine, whatever it was, silhouette, on potato chips and tourist stuff. It was quite a thing, you know. It was a big thing for that mountain. And then, unfortunately, despite their best efforts, they put chains on it and tried to hold those rocks in place, but nature had its way, and one day the mountain let go of the cliff that looked like an old man. And I've read stuff about it. I believe there were ideas that they could recreate it, maybe with something man-made, but that never really happened from what I obviously can see, you know, just looking at that cliff. It's kind of funny, because I would imagine they could make something out of plastic or styrofoam and mount it up there, you know, but they probably are afraid it would just get, you know, tossed asunder in the weather. I'm not really sure. It would probably be too costly, or maybe it's too dangerous for the people below. You know, again, I can't be positive because I'm not, you know, a resident of the area. You know, I'm sure they know why it hasn't happened that way, but it's a shame. It's one of those old childhood memories, and you know, the monument's cool, but tiny girl, tiny girl. She's right there in front of me, and she won't just come sit on my lap. Come here. Come here. Come on. Come here, girl. Tiny girl, come here. Come see Daddy. I'm going to try to coax her into my lap, but she may make me get up and chase her, so hang on a second. Yeah, that's what she's going to do. So you know, she cries till I get up, and I come to the couch, and oh, she's so open that I'm going to lay down, but I'm not going to. So I'm picking her up, and I'm going to put her in my lap, and I'm going to continue to try to paint these trees, which I'm really not all that happy with, but it's okay. You know, one thing I read once, I believe it was John Byrne, or maybe I saw it in one of his interviews I've watched, is if you're not happy with a panel, you know, move on and try harder next time. I guess that's because of deadlines. There are points where you just have to move on. I am not under such a deadline yet. This page is not late. So if anything, I may come back to this background, which is one of the beauties, again, of digital, because it's all done in layers. The only problem with that, you know, is sometimes the backgrounds don't match the subjects. You have to be really careful. And with this kind of thing, it's not so bad. I mean, you know, they're out in the woods, so there's not a lot of detail that could be had. I suppose I could add some brown to this. Oh, my poor baby girl. So my puppy is in my lap, and she's not very happy. She really just wants me to go lay down. But it's way too early for that. Yeah, she's not buying any of it, but that's okay. I know she's happy enough to be here for now. She really is a sweetheart, though. She's quite possibly the most loving dog I've ever seen. And one of the most incredible things about her is really just, she's older, but she still thinks she's a puppy. You know, when she comes to you, she jumps into your lap. She doesn't just come to you. She's very theatrical. I think I want to use this. And I'm just going to do a simple sky wash. And I know, yeah, I know, kind of going all over the place. But then I'm going to turn on this and see if this works. And yeah, you know, it's going to be that big in the book, so it looks a little bit like a watercolor. I don't know. I'll revisit that in a second. I have to pet my puppy's head. Yeah, let's see. So we'll go back to my sort of painted. Switch to something darker. Go back to, actually I think I'm going to try something a little different this time. I'm going to try a little oil pastel. And this is something I've been experimenting with lately. But if I can come in and just add a little shadow to the trees, that might help it. Oh, that was a little dark. It's very sensitive, the pencil, and if I go to the side, it can kind of make it a little funky. All right, back here. And I imagine, I don't know, I imagine this might be quite boring to watch. I totally understand if no one is watching. But again, it's something to do since I'm doing nothing but drawing, you know? So why not share that a little bit? And it keeps me going, even though I'm sure my puppy would appreciate it if I'd just stop. I would show you, but I don't know how to switch to the camera really on this this program. But she is sitting here with her head down on my lap, looking up. Actually, she's looking down. Oh, poor girl. Yeah, life is hard. I don't know, the life of a dog, you know. She's so precious because she's always there when I come home, and she's that way with everybody who lives here. You know, my wife and my daughter. She meets us at the door, all excited. My wife always tells her to get back in, which is kind of funny because she never goes out. She runs down, and she like gets right on the edge of the door, and then she kind of stops and runs back in, knowing that whoever's at the door coming in is obviously coming in, and she wants to be with that person, whoever that is. She's there to say hello. Yeah, it's almost like she knows I'm talking about her because she's starting to cheer up a little, I think. Is that it, girl? You cheering up a little? I think she definitely misses my wife because right about now is when Diana would take to the couch and kind of lay down a little bit. And Tiny would just simply sit there and demand to be petted. She'll force her head under your hands. She'll yip a little bit. She'll kind of shake and shiver till you realize that she's there, even though you know she's there. But she acts like, oh, he or she obviously just doesn't realize I'm sitting here. Okay, I'm going to try something a little darker so my pressure on the brush is oh, okay, I went a little hard there and a little big, so we'll back that up. Yeah, there we go. Just try. Yeah, that might help. Kind of like that. It's a little smudgy, but it's a dark spot, and I kind of feel like that's where I'm headed. I need to put some color in here, but not too contrasting. You know, it's a background, so I don't want it to blend overly bright. You know, like I think the bright green is nice there, but I don't want it to be so strong that when I get to the characters you can't, or it doesn't translate well. You know, I don't want to lose that harmony. That's not cutting it, so let me try this. Yeah, that's more like what I wanted. A little bit dark, you know, because it would be further back. And really, the sun, you can't really see it, but it would be just above them. No, not directly above them. It would be over at the angle this way. Yeah, okay. You can't see my fingers, but I'm kind of pointing. All right, so now I'm just going to start laying in what they call flats. And I'm sure I don't do flats properly. I believe flats are supposed to be there to prevent problems when you're printing and things overlap, you know. Oh, wait, I can't do this yet. How sloppy of me. I have to clean up my overruns here before I try to color there. Because trust me, I've done this before and ended up with totally bad results. Also, maybe because I'm talking too much, I need to give it its own layer, which I virtually forgot. I do that sometimes too, but usually I can correct that with an undo and just redo some of the steps. Yeah, see, I'm getting a little sloppy with the eraser. And that's because, you know, Tiny's in my lap. Right now she's licking my kneecap, which I consider to be a sign of love. Who knows? I'm not a dog, so I don't know. Okay, yeah, so I will leave those trees for the moment, and now Go to my layers. Actually, while I'm here, I'll go ahead and merge these two. Because those I'm going to be playing with. What's this separate of? Let's see what I'm looking at there. Okay. So I can merge this down and this one. So there's my line art. Now I gotta go back up here and just clean this up a little bit. Whoops. Took out some black. I didn't want to take out the black. I want to take out the green. There we go. Oh. See what I mean? I'm just getting a little silly here. All right. I have to remember to kind of lift that brush, and then I don't lose so much. You know, like every time I stroke up here, I just lift it. And then, you know, if I step in too far and get a white spot, then I can step back and fix that. Oh, there's a little blue there. Yeah. Up here. Now the blue, actually, I should just turn on. I think I already did multiply. So that was kind of weird. Oh, it went to normal because I merged them. There we go. I get it. All right, hang on, I have an itch on my calf. There we go, good puppy. All right, so we come back up here, and I just have to, you know, kind of pick out some colors. He's got like light blonde hair. Oh, back that up. Go back here. Yeah, that'll work. Actually, this should go down there. And now I should be able to just come in here, and I'm just going to color things up a little bit. Don't know what I'm using, but I don't like it. There we go. I want to go to Studio Pen. Studio Pen is like my favorite, particularly when I'm doing just solid colors. It can get pretty big. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Now see, this is one of the things about going back and seeing your work. I really need to do something right here, because this is a trait of mine that I don't like. End up making these funky ears sometimes, and really I just need to go in and change it. And because it's digital, whoops, it's really not that big of a deal. That's a big line though. Okay, come down here and over here, and see, that's somewhat more like what I want. Ears are kind of funny. I've watched a lot of tutorials on the ears, but the one thing I do know is that even that might be a little bit more than I want. No, I like that. All right. Oh, dog. You're killing me, puppy. Okay, so I put the puppy down. We'll see how long she lets me get away with that. Where's his blue? Right there. Did it switch? Yeah. All right, so here we go. I'm going to start coloring in his mask. His mask in particular just got drawn on the wrong spot. There we go. Okay. This is what I wanted. Right here. And now the flat, you know, the solid colors, they kind of come together rather quickly. Although I can get sloppy with them if I'm not careful. If you go through the book, coloring is one of the things that I so often need to tighten up on. So what you're witnessing is me trying to tighten up a little. Now some things I'm less worried about than others. Like, see this right here, this little bit of green? I can go like that and really it's covered. But I'm going to go ahead and take care of it, mostly because I'm trying to pay more attention to detail. And also, just because I want it to look right. I just really want this to come out better. Because I allowed it previously, I need to try to fix it now. Yeah, okay. Smudge over a little bit. There you go. Come on, stretch it. Okay, we got that yellow bit there. So I'll just pick this back up with the, on Procreate, if you just press the color and hold it, in the drawing or the photograph, whatever you're referencing, it'll switch right over to it. And you can see that in the upper right hand corner, what color it's been selected with. Okay, so we're coming over to here. Oh, I keep going into the red. I don't want to go into the red. So let's see. Red, and I think I want to darken it up just a hair. That was like a braid. There we go. Just a hair. And see that line there? I can see it right there. I can take this and go right over the blue because we're on the same layer. And I can come up here and boom. The red and blue. Now that's a little sloppy right there. I got to go back. But for now, while I'm in red, I'll take this all the way over. I'm going to make this a little smaller. Go over the yellow and all the way over. Adam Sharp is wearing a costume of sorts. And of course, there are enhancements involved in this costume. And the reason you can't see the pupils of his eyes is because those are 3D displays. They allow him to see things in a heads-up sort of way. You've seen something similar to this interface in modern sci-fi and comics, I'm sure. Marvel, Iron Man has that kind of OS operating system, which it's effective for a agent of the federal government. Excuse me. So yeah, I'll be doing this for hours. I don't know if I'll be streaming for hours, but this is my the way I do things lately. Doing a lot of drawing, and with the comic, learning different things I like to do when creating. And I will tell you, it's a labor of love, but I do love doing it. By the way, if anybody musically inclined is listening and is interested, we are kind of looking for a theme song for Hero Shack Chronicles. It could be instrumental. It could be a song you already have that you think might fit lyrically to some extent. It could be an all original, but just know that I'm really good for a little bit of publicity right now. It's not like we have money to hire a musician or a songwriter. I used to do that too, but songwriting was interesting. I loved what I did, and not very many other people did. But I didn't give it a full shot either. I got to the point where I had to make a choice, be more of a responsible father or chase a dream that... I was in Orlando in a hot spot area in the sense that I believe had I pursued it and hired a few musicians and just put some effort into it, I could have done quite a bit. I was involved in SCW, which was like a independent wrestling company, for about a year, I'd say, maybe 2. I did their website. I wrote a couple of intro themes, instrumentals, kind of like the WWE. And I appeared as Bloodpuff, who was a manager of G-Man. And G-Man was really a senior citizen Mexican wrestler. I don't know what his legal status was. Didn't care. He was just a cool guy. And I got to work with him. Oh, and I just put that color in the grass. That's not a good idea. So we're going to make an emergency repair here by selecting the color that I just added. And Yeah, I think that's good. Let's see. All right, and we're going to go back to here and here and go cut, 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 cut. Is that right? Let's see. Looks right. And then we're going to go paste and we'll bring it down to this level. And yeah, we're back in business. I'll merge this down so they're together. But yeah, sometimes I do forget which layer I'm on. But fortunately, it's rather elementary to fix. And now I can finish his brow here. As you can see, Adam is very much the military kind in the sense that he has, the crew cut going on. He's about 38 years old, I think. That's a guess, about 40. And, yeah, he's kind of important. Not so important that they keep him at home base. They send him out to try to get Cyclopean, but important enough that they gave him a multi-billion-dollar rifle to go with. I think what's funny is they expect him to use it on Cyclopean, which I'm not sure how realistic that is, considering that, Cyclopean is rather invincible. If you haven't figured it out, Cyclopean, I was using him as a satire of Superman. But if you watch Hero Shack Chronicles, you've probably heard me talk about how that's all about to evolve and change. Because he's going to find out that the government told him a lot of things that may or may not have been accurate. That's how we'll say it. And it's going to be up to Cyclopean how to deal with these things. Yet he has no family to turn to. He doesn't even know where his foster parents went because the government tore down the town that they raised him in. Literally, they had created a town and brought in military families to normalize his upbringing. Their intent was never really to blend him into society, however. It was just basically to give him a bit of the human touch, to understand what he was living in, what kind of world he was in. Understanding that, he came as an infant to this world. So he doesn't even know whatever it is he should know from his parents. Or at least that's the understanding. I mean, who knows? I believe Superman had crystals teaching him on the way, depending what version of the story you're talking about. But it's all rather irrelevant because of the revelations that are, coming very soon to a Hero Shack sandbox near you. And that's the truth. I want to kind of move the Cyclopean storyline along for several reasons that shall become obvious. Okay, so Cyclopean's eye, I love to make my favorite color, which is lime green. So that's what his eye becomes. And I always use this brown on his skin. Well, except for one page where I didn't screw up. I thought it would look good as an effect, and it doesn't look as good as I thought. Which leads to another interesting question. Why don't I just go back and fix it? Well, I suppose I could, like, let's say someday Hero Shack is, a top 100 selling comic on a monthly basis. Well, we might reprint it and redo a lot of that stuff. But for now, I kind of like having it up. I like it as a reminder to myself and perhaps as a symbol to others who are just getting started as well. Just get your stuff out there. One of the best parts about Amazon, the Kindle desktop publisher, is that I'm able to have books on demand for customers online. I don't have to keep a stock. I don't have to invest money in the print. Now, granted, I don't make a heck of a lot of money on anything that we sell online. But I know if 1,000,000 of those sell, that's, it's enough to make my house payment go away. Maybe go on vacation for a week. I don't know. I wouldn't be able to travel the world, but life could be better, with that much, or at least it could be more thrilling for a short period of time. Life is already pretty great. It's hard to improve on His greatness. Oh yes, I said His. I believe in the Lord Jesus Christ, Yeshua the Messiah. I don't know. I care about who and what people believe, but not to the point where I'm going to shove what I believe down your throat. I hope that makes sense. I'm not interested in debating religion. If anybody wants to discuss it sometime, I'm always available for that, but yeah. But yeah. All right, so I'm going to continue with these. I have to draw in this. Now remember, the reason he is shirtless right now is because he tore off his uniform when he quit the UFO, and he hasn't returned to his home to replace it. However, it should be duly noted that he will no longer wear the big C. He's going to refuse to wear the suits they gave him, which is probably for the better, because those suits are generally equipped with all sorts of tracking information and devices, and yeah, he doesn't need them tracking him that closely. It's not like they don't already track him with the satellite radars and stuff, but yeah. I'd rather not have that on his person. So his new uniform or costume, whatever we want to call it, is going to come up sooner rather than later. All right, we'll get this colored. Actually, the yawns are just starting to hit, which is okay. I mean, I can always do this later. But why don't you tell me what you thought? Should I continue streaming? It doesn't really hurt anybody. But will it hurt me? I don't know. Sharing how I do it might be a good thing, though. I enjoy it. I hope you did. I'm going to, go pet my puppy and take another break. Just because I'm getting exhausted. I'll be up again at about 3:30. And if I remember, I'll actually stream some of that session. I'll probably do all the colors in that stream and then work on the putting the dialogue in. And yeah, let's see. Oh, so I have to go like this, and I'm looking at the stream while I shut down everything, and it's kind of cool how far you can go in and still keep a strong line. That's in part because I use 600 DPI, which is overkill, but I like the fact that I can zoom in like that and have it be, clean. Yeah, there's some anti-aliasing when you get that close, but and it's there too, but it looks really tight as far as pixels go. All right, I'm going to lie down with my puppy. God bless y'all. Good night. Let's see. Oh, that didn't work.